Hi, everybody. This is SAAD. Hope you're having a good Sunday. I know that our neighbors in the south are going through a very difficult time with all of the upheavals that are taking place in many cities. So my thoughts are with you. Remember, one can express their outrage without burning down everything in sight. But in any case, today, I wanted to briefly discuss the importance of laughter, the importance of having humor, having a sunny disposition. Now, of course, people vary on these dimensions. Not everybody's funny, not everybody has the ability to crack a joke at the right time, and so on. That's why we have stand up comedians and people who just sit in the audience and laugh. So it's not as though everybody can just access a sunny disposition. I understand that, but it's important to the best of one's ability, live life in a manner that seeks to maximize your happiness. Now, fortunately for me, since as far back as I can remember, I've been someone who has had a sunny disposition. May it continue like this forever. I've always been someone who's known to be funny, jocular. I joke around, I'm irreverent, and you can see it in my social media. I can be deadly serious, but I can also be silly and playful. And what's interesting is that overwhelmingly, the number one source of hate that I experience, more than from Islamists and the tofu brigade or the vegan Taliban brigade, is by far people who are angered by some joke that I've made. So I'll just give you a quick example. There is an imbecile professor from Caltech. I had no idea who he was. I just only discovered him a few days ago because he just went completely wild. Because at the start of a recent chat I held with Eric Topol, who's just a brilliant scientist and a wonderful human being, I've grown really fond of him in the very little time that I've known him. At the start of our chat, you can go and check it, it was earlier this week, I began with a very, very self-deprecating joke. It's a joke that exhibits great humility in that I'm complimenting Eric, my guest, in the following way. So I start off by saying, I always thought that there was, one assured way for men to lose, to have a drop in their testosterone level, and that's by aging. And I've entered now my 50s, and so I've aged, and so of course my testosterone is going to drop. Well, not really, not for me, of course. And then, of course, I just realized that there's a second way by which men can have a drop in their testosterone, and that is if they see your CV, your accomplishment. Meaning, what I'm saying there is that his CV is so profoundly incredible that upon seeing his CV, a man will have a drop in his testosterone. It's a very gentle way to exhibit great respect at his accomplishments by engaging in self-deprecation. No sane person, no human who doesn't need to be quickly rushed to a psychiatric institute could ever be offended by this. But yet this lobotomized fool put out a tweet and then tagged Eric as though he's reporting me to him, and said, I wanted to watch the chat, but within the first 40 seconds, he makes this testosterone offensive joke. Disgusting, period. I could no longer watch. Okay? And so this reminded me of the usual type of, folks who are similarly triggered in ways that are truly incomprehensible. It leaves you baffled. So, for example, probably the number one source of ribbing that I get is when a few years ago a journalist from the New York Times had written an article, and I had responded in my usual playful, irreverent self, "Oh, you can't think of anyone else who you might have missed in your article that should be part of the IDW?" Now, I couldn't give one damn about whether I'm in the IDW or not. Some of the folks in the IDW, I'm not particularly fond of some of their idiocy. It was meant as a joke, in the same way that I just had a chat with Michael Shermer where in one of his sections of the book, he talks about transcendent and controversial intellectuals. And I started joking that how come he didn't include me there? That's how you joke. Sometimes I joke about my weight. Sometimes I engage in self-deprecation. Sometimes I tease others. It's all done in good fun. That's what a healthy mind does. You laugh at yourself, you joke with others, hopefully in an innocent way, but to make people laugh, right? You don't have to be a professor that only smokes pipes and pontificates while looking up into the sky in a deep way. I can be as deep as they come and as serious as they come, but also as silly and joyful as they come. It is the ability to navigate through these various states of emotional valence that allows one to live a healthy life. So with that in mind, I just wanted to take a moment or two to share with you some tweets that I posted a few minutes ago on this issue, on the importance of laughter. And maybe at some point I'll write a whole article on this. We'll see. But here we go. So first I began with the following. All right. This, in a sense, summarizes what I've been saying for the past few minutes. So it is remarkable the number of humorless fools that inhabit social media. 99% of all my haters, a very small number of my total followers, have historically been most triggered by an inability to understand my irreverent free spirit. Their inner ugliness consumes them. Join the fun. Laugh at yourselves, as I often do when I engage in self-deprecating humor, as I did with that testosterone thing, which the guy thought was disgusting. How is it disgusting when you're making fun of yourself? Don't take yourself so seriously. Maintain a sparkle of playfulness in your eyes. Be light. You will live a more fulfilled and happy life. Cheers, everyone. And then I have a smiley face. And then I go on. Humor is an elixir of life. People with a well-structured sense of self know how to find humor in themselves and in others and in all of the trajectories of life. Those shackled by inner demons despise humor, for it reminds them of their ugliness. Take that life lesson to the bank. And then finally, 3 tweets that speak to the importance of humor in a marriage. So I receive innumerable requests to offer advice, including about a successful marriage. There are many ingredients to a lasting union, but a key one is the ability to laugh with one another. I cannot stress the importance of the sunny disposition that comes with being able to laugh with your partner. A marriage has many challenges, most of which can be overcome if you respect one another and are able to make each other laugh. Be a best friend to your partner. Be a rock and the clown. This is what I do as well in my public engagement. I can be deadly serious and I can be silly and playful. The ability to navigate through both valences and wear many hats is a sign of a healthy and well-balanced mind. Heed my words, love and laugh. Cheers. Oh, and by the way, the imbecile who was so angry at the start of that I mentioned at the start of my clip, his name is Lior Pachter. So there you go. Lior, if you ever watch this thing, buddy, you don't know me. Maybe you'll like me. Get rid of your hate. Don't post angry stuff about someone without tagging them, by the way. A sure sign of cowardice. And maybe if you met me, you'd actually find that I'm a pretty cool guy. Take care, everybody. Cheers.